Is fear stopping you from starting your online business? What if I told you that facing these fears head on would be the stepping stone you need to finally start your business? I'm Latoya Nicole, and I help creatives and entrepreneurs self-publish and sell books online. Today, we're going to talk about a few common fears of starting your business and how to press past those fears. So go ahead and click the like button below and subscribe so that you can keep learning about ways to start and grow your online business. One of the most popular things that I hear people say when I ask them what's holding them back from starting is fear. Now, they may not directly say that fear is the answer, but I know that fear is in it by the way that they answer the question. They may say things like, what if nobody buys it? Or what if now is not the right time? Or money is holding me back? Or I don't have time throughout the day to get stuff done, right? All of those answers, the root of it is really fear. We all have experienced fear, whether it's fear of being judged, fear of being criticized by others, or just fear of not feeling like you have what it takes to accomplish something. So I just wanted to talk about some ways of overcoming these common fears when starting your Amazon KDP coloring book business or any other business online. Now, the reason that I focus on authors and building an Amazon business is because I have successfully grown my publishing company, Entrepreneurs Color 2, into a multi-six-figure brand. And so if I can do it, I know you can do it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is fear of failure. This may consist of things like not being good enough. What if when I publish my hard-earned work, I put it out there and people criticize me, if I start getting negative reviews, or if people don't support me? All of these thoughts can start to bombard your mind. And once they start to bombard your mind, if you allow them to be greater than your capabilities or your confidence, then those fears will start to overlap and keep you from actually starting. But like I said, we're going to talk about some ways to overcome some of these fears, starting with the fear of failure. When I published my first coloring book, 24 Shades of Business, in 2018, I had all of those same types of thoughts. Just before I was getting ready to publish, I was like, oh my God, what if I didn't do everything right? What if I forgot something? What if when I publish this, no one really likes the book? What if no one buys the book or supports me in this endeavor? So you're gonna have those types of thoughts, and you're gonna have those emotions that come with it. But to overcome it, you have to develop your mindset. This means doing things like soul searching within. You want to start saying things to yourself like, is this for me or is this for everyone else? Is this something that I want to do more than I care about the criticism of others? And then even ask yourself, what would be the worst thing that would come out of this? Okay, so if you publish and no one supports, then at least you learned from it, and now you have more knowledge than you had before, and you could take that knowledge and start to build again. And then you also want to start examining certain things within yourself and say, now, what is the best thing that could happen? Because if you never do it, how will you know how successful it could grow to be? If I had let all those fears and thoughts stop me when I was getting ready to publish my first book, then I would have never published it, and I would have never known how successful the book was going to be. I would never have known that my business was going to sell over 50,000 books just on Amazon alone. I would never know how impactful the business could be to other people. I get people writing me all the time telling me, your books have really helped me through trying times. They'll say that they were at the doctor's office and they were coloring while they were getting chemo, or they were coloring to relax, or they were they gave it to their grandmother who had Alzheimer's, and she was able to color and just enjoy life. So I would never know the impact had I never started. So I want to encourage you, you'll never know the impact of how successful your business could be if you don't simply start the business. And the next fear could be not knowing enough. A lot of people let lack of knowledge or lack of expertise in an area stop them from doing stuff. But again, going back to my story, when I started publishing, I did not have a mentor. There was one person that I did hire at the end when I had already done everything. I simply hired her to make sure that I had crossed all of my T's and dotted all my I's, just to see if I was forgetting anything like the description or, little things like that. But that was after I had already put the book together and everything. But if I had a mentor throughout the process, that would have saved me a lot of money that I wasted, a lot of time that I wasted, and it also would have just help me get there faster without making so many mistakes, like, for example, not knowing what categories to put my books in when I first started, not knowing what kind of keywords to pick. So I would have had the knowledge. And that is why it's so important that if you don't know where to start or you feel like you don't have enough information, to get a support group or find yourself a mentor in that area or a coach in that area. And I do have a free guide below to help you have a checklist of knowing what specifically you should have in place when you're starting your coloring book business. So if lack of knowledge or expertise is one of your fears, then I encourage you to focus on building your knowledge and education by learning from someone who has gone before you and been successful in that area. Okay, so the third most common thing that I hear is I don't have enough money to get started with a business. This is why I suggest starting off by publishing on KDP, because you don't have to have a lot of money up front. Now, if you're going to go through the process like I did and hire an illustrator, that will cost you a good $1,500. But there are sites that you can use to get illustrations for way cheaper, guys, because when I started, it was in 2018, and that's why I hired an illustrator. And I just love how my illustrator is, so I continue to go that route. But like I said, there are other avenues that you can go that are way less, which are sites like Creative Fabrica and freelance sites like Upwork and Fiverr. Another great thing about starting on KDP is that it is a print-on-demand service. That means that you don't have to order tons of books like you would if you were a traditional publisher. Now, all you do is publish your book, which you can upload to their platform for free if you choose, and you get a chance to make royalties for each book sold. This is a lower cost business to start. So like I said, if you want custom work, yes, that'll be a little more expensive, but there are other ways to do it that you don't have to be as expensive when publishing your book. So just seek out those resources and don't let that be one of the things that holds you back. Now, one thing I want you to do to go ahead and give yourself a little boost and just a little more confidence is I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to actually write down some of the things that you have accomplished in life or some of the achievements that you've made that you're actually proud of. For each of those accomplishments, reflect on what thoughts you had to press through before you were able to even do those things. Because I know that you had to press through some of the same types of thoughts, but you were able to still do it and look at how you feel once you were able to press past those thoughts and actually achieve those accomplishments. This will be no different. Once you step out of your comfort zone and begin to know you got this, you'll then be able to add this new accomplishment to that list as well, because you were able to do it then and you're able to do it now. One more thing that I want to leave with you is stop comparing yourselves to others. A lot of times when we're looking at social media, we see other people doing certain things. We'll start to believe things like maybe ours is not as good as theirs, or even things like, oh, they already took the idea that I was going to do, so there's no point in me doing it. The point of you doing it is because your idea is still going to be different. Your scenes in the book are going to be different than their scenes would be in the book. Have you gone to the grocery store lately and seen all of the bread on the bread aisle? That means that all of those different types of bread are selling. Somebody likes white bread, somebody likes wheat bread, somebody likes rye bread. You get the point that I'm trying to make. Even if the type of book you're trying to sell is already published, that doesn't mean you can't sell it. You're just going to make your book your own and put your flair, your touch, your wisdom, your expertise inside of your book. When I was building up to hit my milestone of selling 20,000 books, I was so excited. I was already planning my PR. I was already planning everything that I was going to put in place so that everybody could know I sold these 20,000 books, right? But then, right before I got ready to sell the 20,000 books, I must have been at like 19,000 something, right? I saw someone else that was promoting that they had just sold 100,000 books. So I was like, well, ain't even no point of putting out my little 20,000 book accomplishment. If they sold 100,000, mine must not be such an accomplishment. The lies. Your accomplishment is your accomplishment. So that's what I want you to do. Get your book out there so you can build your success story and stop comparing yourself to others. So remember, whatever you do in life, you're always going to hear negative thoughts that try to stop. Booby, stop. So remember, whatever you do in life that's worth doing, you're always going to hear negative thoughts before you get ready to move and start the business. And even after you make the move and start the business, there's still going to be uncertainty along the way. But the way you overcome those fears is simply by starting and also by your ability to keep going. So listen, someone out there is waiting on your book. Your book is going to encourage them. Your book is going to inspire them, and your book is going to help them in their next move in life. So don't let your fear stop you from also being an inspiration to someone else. Okay, guys, until next time, bye-bye.